Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's me, Mr. Gibson, your English teacher, reporting live here in the ACVCS storage room area. All right. I could, I guess, record this from my home, but I've got 3 little daughters, and they can get really loud. They're cute, but yeah, it's just not conducive to a learning environment for older students. Anyway, so I want to take a few minutes of your time today to kind of address some literary terms and also writing terms, I guess, ways that we can become better communicators in general. I'm going to talk about 2 terms today that some of you are learning about in Compass this week. Tone and mood. Right? Compass does a good job of presenting the vast array of content. But one of the things I've realized as I've been watching them with you is that they'll use terminology to instruct you on another term that if you haven't learned about those other terms that they're talking about, they're just thrown out there, they're not explaining those things, you probably don't fully understand what they're talking about. Even if you do understand a little bit, yeah, it can probably seem confusing. You probably tune out sometimes because you're like, I have no idea what they're talking about. So I hope to address tone and mood today in a different way, in a simpler way. Hopefully, I don't know. But to help me do that, I wanted to first show you a clip from one of the brightest and happiest movies that has ever been made, Mary Poppins. Right? A wonderful movie, Disney movie. It just generates all these fun feelings inside of you. The mood that you feel inside is happy and excitement, and curiosity, right? So I'd like you to watch the clip, and then we'll talk about it after that. So, roll the footage. Roll. Oh, it's just me. Sorry. Okay.
Light up the sky. It's the entertainment thrill of a lifetime. Walt Disney's Mary Poppins, the most loved and celebrated motion picture achievement of the decade. Starring Academy Award winner Julie Andrews.
For a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, the medicine go down, medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in a most delightful way.
And fabulous funny man Dick Van Dyke. Walt Disney's Mary Poppins, that charming and delightfully eccentric heroine who rocked the entertainment world with 5 Academy Awards.
Ow! They're out of the game!
Yes, the wondrous and magical ways of Walt Disney's Mary Poppins so completely thrilled and captivated the imagination of motion picture audiences the world over.
Oh, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Goodbye, Mary Poppins. Don't stay away too long.
Stay away, don't rest your head.
Oh my goodness gracious. Scary, right? Yeah. No. But let's see, look at that. Two completely different feelings, two completely different moods from the same movie. And actually, Scary Mary, that song that they played, that was an actual song that she sung in the original movie, but they just kind of slowed it down, made it a little, like you were hearing it in a tunnel, a little echoey in the background. Like there was a wind blowing while she was singing. They just kind of changed small little things, the tone. They changed the tone. And it completely changed the mood. Completely. Have you ever heard your mother, or maybe you've heard somebody else's mother, or somebody say, "Don't you use that tone of voice with me," right? The tone that you use affects the feelings that are felt. The feelings that are felt, yes. So if your mom asked you, "Where are you going today?" and you just say, "I'm going to the store." If you say it like that, she's probably not going to say, "Don't you use that tone of voice with me." Right? She's probably not going to do that. She's probably going to say, "Oh, what store?" The conversation goes on in an appropriate way. But if you're a little spoiled and you're being a little cheeky, right? Maybe you got in a little scuff with your mom that morning. You're a little ticked off a little bit. You might say it like this: "I'm going to the store." Then she might say, "Don't you use that tone of voice with me." Same exact phrase, but the tone changes. And by changing the tone, the mood changes all of a sudden. What you emphasize, what you focus on, changes the mood. You could have, so let's relate it to writing real quickly. Two people can be writing about a funeral, right? Funerals, when we think of funerals, we automatically think of a sad, depressing experience, or it could be a moment of comfort and closure, but they're kind of solemn experiences. They're not something you would go to for fun. So two people could be writing about funerals, two different people. One person might want to focus on those solemn, kind of melancholy feelings that you experience at a funeral. And so their character is going to be feeling those things, and they want to write in the way that expresses those things. Their tone is going to be kind of melancholy, kind of solemn. They're going to focus on the internal feelings of the character. They're going to focus on how that shell in the casket is not my father, or not my sister, or not my grandmother, or whoever it is. You know, the descriptions aren't going to be flowery and bright. The tone is going to be focusing on certain things. The sentences might be long and drawn out, or maybe short. It depends on the tone or the mood that you want to establish, what you focus on, what you emphasize. Whereas you could have another person writing about the exact same thing as a funeral, but the character might have a bad relationship with the person who just passed away. And so all of a sudden, and maybe they inherited lots and lots of money. So then all of a sudden you have this kind of spoiled personality, who now the funeral is like a breath of fresh air, a relief in a way. I just inherited lots and lots of money. This person that I don't like is now gone. So you're going to be focusing on the way the birds are singing in the sky, and the way the trees look when the sun just hits the leaves just so. Right? It's going to be a beautiful day all of a sudden. The descriptions are going to be quite different than the melancholy and the solemn and kind of the sad funeral. So you can have two different atmospheres, or two of the same atmospheres, the same settings, right? Generally, settings affect the mood, but then the tone can change that automatically. It can either reinforce the mood, your tone, or it can change it and have a weird dynamic going on. Just like a haunted house. Scary, right? Ooh, ghosts. Haunted houses are scary. So automatically when you think of haunted house, the mood that you think of is spooky, eerie, creepy. But if you wanted to write a comedy in a haunted house, your tone is going to be a little different. So you can still have this interesting dynamic going on where you have a scary atmosphere with a funny tone. And that's when some good things can happen. Ghostbusters, I mean, that, if you've seen that movie, that's an example of that. There's been others, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. So tone really is the driving force in the mood that you feel. Either it reinforces a feeling or a mood or an atmosphere. It reinforces that atmosphere, or it changes it all of a sudden. It really depends on the tone you use. So when you are writing, I don't want you necessarily to stress over, am I writing the right tone to establish the mood that I want? You know, just write. Be aware of it, but just write. If you're thinking so much about that, the writing isn't going to be that great. Just write how you're feeling inside. Be aware of the mood that you want to create, and just write. And then when you're done writing, go back and read it. That's why it's good to edit and reread. And then sometimes you need to rewrite. But you need to go back and read it and have somebody else read it and say, did you feel these things? Did I establish this mood with you? Because if you didn't establish the mood that you were wanting the reader to feel, you need to change the tone. You need to go back and figure out how to change the tone. And you change the tone by the descriptions that you use, by the sentence structure, sentence length, right? And you need to work that out yourself. I can definitely give you feedback in your writing if you want to establish a certain mood, and you want to know how you do that in regards to the tone that you need to use. I would be more than happy to read your writing and help you out in that way. Because any great piece of literature that you read, Hunger Games, for example, you feel these feelings of excitement and energy because of the tone that the author uses at times. She may write in an urgent way, and so you feel automatically these feelings of excitement and anticipation. And then there's other times where it's a little calmer because of the way she's writing, the tone that she's using. And so you want to be aware of those things. When you write, you do generate these feelings in people. You do establish a mood by the way that you write, by the descriptions that you use. That's why it's so important. Some people think, oh, the more descriptions I give, the more details I give about an entire room, the better the writing will be. It's not the case. Just because you're describing everything in great detail, the door had a small lock on it, which was perpendicular to a picture of a woman carrying a baby. There was a chair sitting in the corner. Alongside that chair was a lamp. By the lamp was a statue of a doll. A pretty doll. A cat. Cat doll. I don't know what I'm talking about. But you understand, you've read writing like that. Too many descriptions. It might be good. If you need to do descriptions like that, you need to have a purpose behind it. You can't just do it because people are going to tune out. I just want you to be aware of how you're writing, what you're writing, because that's what really generates the feelings that you want. That's what generates good writing, or good stories. Anyway, so I hope this kind of made you aware of some things, maybe put it in a different light. Those of you who are learning about tone and mood this week, kind of be aware of that, because the way you write something definitely creates a mood. Have fun in your writing. Don't stress about all these different things, the conventions of writing. Don't stress about them all. Just enjoy what you're doing. Have fun. And yeah. Let me know if you have any questions. If you'd like me to read anything that you've written, I'd be more than happy to and give you some feedback on that. So until next time, have a great week. I think next week we're going to talk about sentence fluency, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe show you some different clips there. But it'll be fun. All right. Bye.